There's only one in particular killer I would like to see added into this game, and some of you guys already heard me talk about him a few times, even when playing this game in parties, live, and just hanging out. But it's so many killers that they can bring into this game, just so many possibilities. The ideas are there, the potential is there, and with these developers, with their creativity, and just like I said before, way before this chapter even released, when they first announced the Resident Evil chapter, who saw Leon and Jill being in this game? Chris, not even alongside of them, Chris and Claire being alongside, added with Leon and Jill, Nemesis to be as the killer. But Chucky is just one of the most I think that's the most requested killer I would like to have as for a chapter. Even if he's solo, I'm cool with that, or even just a survivor. And I have some ideas I wanted to share for this video. And now it makes me want to talk about it a little bit more because now the Chucky series is being revived yet again and being brought back. But now instead of a movie, we're getting a TV series later this year, sometime in October, and I'm looking forward to watching that because I've seen all the Chucky movies, and I prefer the classics. And I'm talking about the good guy doll. I'm not talking about the buddy, because the buddy is very different from the good guy doll. The buddy dolls, or Chucky in the buddy world, he's more advanced with his ability with technology and stuff like that. But of course, he doesn't have that technical ability in the classics because he's just him. He's himself and running around with a knife, hacking and slashing anyone who gets in his way. But I have Steve on my screen because when you look at his hair, I don't know if anyone else would agree. But when you look at him, he makes me think of Chucky when he's running. If you look at his hairstyle, you have all those different. You have the design of his hair right here on the screen, and it can just be brought to life when it comes to Chucky. And if he's added into the game, he could be the first ever character that could talk. Because when you have all these other survivors, they can't talk for themselves. The only one that can talk is Ashley. So since he's the only talking survivor, when you select him, he has something. He says a variety of lines. What they could do something with Chucky when he adds. Just think about that. All the different lines he could possibly say, and just one of his famous lines when he gets selected. See how Ashley already talks. He could be. Chucky can talk once you pick him, and he could say, "Hi, I'm Chucky. Want to play?" You see what I'm saying? So it'll work. It's just I can just see it in the game. So he could be the only killer that can talk and have a voice, and maybe he could talk in game when he's chasing the characters and the survivors, and when he takes them down, he can laugh. He can laugh while he's chasing them, or maybe in the middle of his mori doing a frenzy of knife attacks. The ideas are definitely there, but the one thing that I'm stumped with is what kind of perks he's going to be able to have or something like that. But only have one little perk that I can think of just to throw out there. If you guys want to get involved with your ideas and maybe some other potential killers you guys would like to see in the games besides Chucky, I just even with characters like Steve, you can have Andy Barclay. I'm just the one from Child's Play 3. They can just throw him in as a character for Survivor for the chapter as a whole for the Chucky chapter. See, and my little idea was with one of his perks, I don't know what it could be called. I could just probably off the top of my head, I'm just gonna go with a perk called Friends to the End. So when he uses with the Friends to the End perk, it could be exclusive to Chucky. But when he uses this perk and then with it, you could have Andy Barclay in the game, and if someone's playing as Andy Barclay in the match as a survivor, he's already gonna automatically be his obsession, and then he gets a speed bonus. Maybe he can get like a speed bonus after a short period of time if he's chasing Andy Barclay after a certain amount of time. He can get a speed bonus, and maybe he'll say some kind of special lines. You see, it could be something like that that they can add, and they could be creative with it, with his perks and his voodoo magic that I was thinking about. Because everyone always talks about, oh, he's too small. How would they even get it to work? you got characters running around like Victor from the twins that's super small, but see how incredibly fast he is on the map. Chucky could be something like that. Maybe he can slide under pallets, but of course he can break them. But maybe you have the ability to just a unique ability to slide right under them really quickly and be able to continue his running momentum and have a bloodlust bonus or something like that. It's just all those different ideas out there. It's just it makes it possible, and just being able to hook the opponents. See that special chant that he casts in the movies when he tries to take over the soul of Andy, Tyler, or anyone else that he's targeting. He can have special chants and have the entity help him hook the survivors and levitate them. Use levitation or something like that, put a special channel out, and then have them levitate the survivor, and then put them on the hook that way. So that it's still a wiggle progress where you'll be able to get out of it, and while he's taking you to the hook, if you can wiggle out in time, you can break the chant. So that'll be something that I would like to see added into the game as far as hooking process. I already talked a little bit about this Mori, a series of a knifing frenzy, and as he's stabbing you to death, he's just laughing as he's doing it. That would be really cool to see. I really want this to happen. Out of any other killer, I don't care about anybody other character, any sort of character or chapter. They got all these classic horror killers like Freddy Krueger. You got it. You're missing the other classic with Chucky. Chucky is just as good of a classic horror to watch, along with Scream, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th. I don't even think Friday the 13th will ever even be in existence with all the things that's going on with that game. But it's there. The potential is there. It's just so many different ideas, and maybe they just like I said, maybe they can use the good guy doll from Play Pals instead of the buddy. But either way, it wouldn't matter unless he's in the game. But even if they don't make Andy Barclay as a survivor, he could just have his own solo chapter, just like Ghostface had his. But they could have did like Sydney with that chapter. I'm just surprised they didn't get that together to have Sydney the sole survivor of the movies themselves, and a big target to be able to be included with that chapter. But it's just a little idea, something I wanted to really throw out there. And just with this Chucky TV series coming to life and being brought into fruition later this year, maybe it wouldn't be no better time than now, or maybe sometime around the time it releases, for them to maybe make that collaboration and bring Chucky to this game, and they can also promote that TV series. Don't you guys think? So I don't know if that'll be a good idea, but I'm definitely going to be looking forward to that. So maybe that could be something that can probably be added into the game. But I'm sure there's other chapters and other killers that they can probably bring out, even other original characters they can bring to life from their own unique ideas. And these developers can bring just about anything, anybody in the game. Especially if we have Leon, just as I said, we got Leon and Jill in the game. We can definitely get all these other iconic characters to be added into the game themselves, especially from another classic horror like Evil Dead. And that's already getting its own game later on in the year as well. So I just wanted to throw little ideas out there for a Chucky chapter, and maybe something that can probably happen for a little bit of ideas of what his abilities can do and whatnot. But I don't know. You know, they can throw in a cosmetic, they can throw in like a charm or something like that. But if anything, if it's not a chapter, it'll probably be a cosmetic, if anything.